All right, it's podcast time. We're back. We're back in the cut making podcasts. This is the Choke Artist Podcast, our 45th episode, and I have very special guests today. They came quite a ways away, I'd say, ish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
2 hours.
yeah. The band Ultra Deluxe is here,
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Hello.
and Jordan is here as well.
Hi.
And I think it's cool that you're here and you do all the band's visual artwork stuff, because the artwork for the last album was that last thing was a concept album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So basically, like, the whole band at this point is just like this weird concept thing that I'm doing where I was doing solo stuff and I was just writing songs mostly about like education policy or like just like living in New York City. Like I have like this song about how fucked up the MTA is, and then I hit a brick wall, so then I decided like I'm just gonna write like a sci-fi dystopian concept record,
Yeah,
and
that's neat.
all the albums are kind of gonna be that for a while.
Cool. Yeah. So, we should like talk about the band too. Like, so like elements of not Bitcoin music. What's the word I'm thinking of? 8-bit. Thank you. Bitcoin music. Jesus.
We've sold out. We're Bitcoin music now. We're sponsored by Bitcoin.
Hell yeah.
PayPal us.
Yeah. So somewhere between like 8-bit and screamo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like, did lyrics like mostly about dystopian stuff, or like I know like there's a queer element in like the lyrics too, right?
Mhm.
Or like dysphoria at times.
Yeah, for sure. So I've just always been really into like sci-fi, but really like dystopian sci-fi. Like I definitely love Star Wars and stuff like that. But I mean, when I was like 16, like BioShock was like I was all about that, and yeah. And then just like I read a lot of like comic books and stuff, and that is just super big for me.
Right on. It's cool. You ever see Fantastic Planet?
Never.
All
I
right.
actually have that on DVD at the house.
Watch it. Yeah. It freaked me out, but it's good. It's like 70s, like
Yeah,
anime,
yeah.
sci-fi, kind of dystopian, or like there's like little humans running around and the aliens are like taking care of them, like gerbils in a cage almost, and like really trippy art stuff too. But
I have it at the house. I was
Yeah.
thinking about watching it. It looked really weird.
yeah,
And it's very saturated color.
Wait, what's it called again?
Fantastic Planet.
Oh, I was thinking Forbidden Planet, which is like a sick comic book store.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
really?
is a sick comic
Yeah,
book
yeah.
store.
around
City.
around where you're at.
Yeah, it's near Union Square, but it's like it's got everything, but it's geared towards like sci-fi stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also carry a lot of like independent artists comics there too, which is
That's
cool.
neat. Yeah, that's a whole like avenue that I'm not familiar with, like independent comics and all that. But
Yeah, I've been getting really into that stuff, and we're also like, I kind of want to do like some comic book stuff with the later releases and get visual artists to like illustrate the songs and stuff
That's
like
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Gerard Way shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this story definitely calls, like the story that you have calls for
Yeah.
so at least a certain amount
It's
of
like,
art.
there's a lot to it, and it's hard for even me to follow sometimes. So I feel like a graphic novel or something like it would definitely help a lot of people grasp the concept better.
Yeah. And I feel like it would give it like more staying power too. I think the music's very cool. I don't mean it as that, but it's like, and today there's just so many things being constantly released. Like a tangible thing or like something you could like that would go along with it to like supplement it too is like kind of neat. So
Everybody's doing like a visual album these days too.
yeah.
You know, like everybody has a music video for every song on their album at this point. So
Yeah.
a comic would be something similar. It's a visual art. It doesn't have to be a video.
Yeah. So you're in New York. You're in like Brooklyn. Or?
So I live in East Harlem, and I work in the Bronx. But Eric and I used to live together in New Paltz.
Yeah, that's when we met.
Yeah. So you two came down from New Paltz area ish.
Yeah, I spent the last 4 years in New Paltz, but now we're just 10 minutes outside of it.
Cool.
It's a little quieter,
Yeah.
more relaxed.
Yeah. Because New Paltz has like a good amount of stuff going on.
Yeah,
Definitely.
all the time.
Yeah. And you're playing in New Brunswick tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're at.
Roach Motel.
Ah, nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you know who you're
It's a
playing
good
with?
spot.
Yeah, so we're playing with Hill Boys, who are pals, and then we're playing with our friend in this project called I Love You, which is they're on tour from West Virginia. It's very similar, like Ultra Deluxe stuff, but solo, and the singer just runs around and doesn't play anything and just really energetic.
They're on tour with an iPhone right now.
Their lyrics are
yeah.
super powerful too, though. Like,
Cool.
Yeah.
they write very personal songs.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we played Best of the Worst played with y'all like a month or two ago, and
That
it was
was
like,
such a fun time.
Yeah.
Really fun show.
yeah, I had a lot of fun watching your set. Like
This is a very like supportive scene, which is really
New
cool.
Brunswick is one of our favorite spots to play. We always come back, and there's always people that come to almost every single one of our shows.
New Brunswick's neat because people that are here are trying to have a good time for sure.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's a good in that sense, and there's always like a place to play. There's like so many different houses. So
Yeah. College towns in metro areas are always much larger scenes, you know.
yeah. Wait, Eric, your mic isn't working, and I want to fix it.
Okay.
I'm gonna pause it for 1 sec. Sorry. Wait, try it again.
Check.
Okay, now it's working.
Check.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think the cable wasn't in all the way.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But are you doing a weekender or?
Yeah. Right now it's just 2 days. We played New Paltz and New Brunswick.
Yeah.
And so we are coming back to New Brunswick twice pretty soon. We're going to be here on 3:30, and then we're going to be here again on 5:10.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. Because I would consider your band like a DIY band, right? Like
Definitely.
Yeah.
although like even if there is like a DIY label involved, it's still like you're booking everything. You're like
I just like Facebook. I just like Facebook message
Max
people.
doesn't stop.
Yeah, I do some emails, but it's just like, I mean, I don't know. I'm 25 now, and it's just like people. Facebook's cool just because like it's people that like you may have like went to a show with when you were like 16 that are also still playing, and then you could be like, oh, how you been? Like, you know, like. And then people are just like, a lot of people never stopped like doing DIY. Some people went on to bigger projects. Some people are like have a job or whatever. But I think it's like it's just really good to stay connected, whether it's like Facebook or like just, I don't know. The internet has its problems, but it's just good for seeing old friends from music.
For sure. And it is like you can find past events and find promoters on past events. It's like a directory of like
Definitely
people running shows or going to shows and stuff. So yeah, definitely. Booking like Facebook's like real essential. I feel like I got off of Facebook like 3 months ago. I got kicked off of Facebook actually. I had a fake Facebook name and someone reported it. I'm a teacher. I don't want like teachers were literally adding me when I had my real name, and my profile was like, you know, like shit posting or just
I'm surprised I haven't gotten kicked off yet. I think I toed the line. I don't know. It's gonna happen one day.
Yeah, because the hard thing is like sometimes people like be petty and report if they like disagree with the point you're making or like as like a troll type thing, and then like it can get really messy on there.
Yeah, I go too hard with the status updates.
Max has the funniest status updates.
I used to do comedy, but I like got really tired of like people like saying like politically incorrect stuff. So now I still do comedy, but I just shit post for days on Facebook, and that's just how I do that.
Nice.
I don't know if that's better or worse than what I was doing before, but maybe it's.
They make very punny.
I like
band
following the
names
shit
too, which are
posters.
hilarious.
Punny
Band names. What was the one you came up with yesterday?
Oh, today was Panic at the Drive-In.
That's pretty good. I would love to hear what those two bands have like combined too. Yeah.
It's gonna be the next Ultra Deluxe record. It's just
hell yeah. Yeah. So someone reported my Facebook, and then I was still keeping it, and it was working because I was using it for booking. I was booking a tour at the time. Like I gotta use this still. And then they asked for a picture of my ID that had proof that my Facebook name was my real name in real life. And I just take a picture of me giving the middle finger, and I sent it to them. And every time I log in, they're like, "We're sorry, your profile is still under review. We'll get back to you." And my friend said all of our message threads, everything I ever posted has been erased.
Wow.
The profile's down.
that's mad fucked up for like people that like want to legally change their name but haven't because like the system's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like it's like people can change their names. Like
and that costs money, right? It's
Yeah.
like a litigious thing. You have to probably fill out a bunch of paperwork. Like, yeah. So, But
Also, the fact that you have to send your ID to them is pretty fucked. You know, like they could take your information. You're like, it's
Dude.
not safe.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
where's that
probably
picture
people
gonna go?
constantly trying to hack Facebook for information.
Yeah.
They're just giving it away.
I mean, they literally
Yeah.
sell.
That's the other thing. Yes.
Yeah,
They could
yeah.
sell your driver's license or your ID to whoever. That information
Yeah.
will just be out there. You don't have. There's no trust. There's just no.
Yeah.
There's no trust. So I don't know why they think people are going to send their driver's licenses or passports or whatever to them just to prove that's
To
their
have
name.
get their Facebook back.
Yeah. It's
I've-
not worth it.
Yeah, no, and it's tricky. Like, I'm convinced our phones are tapped, and like, I've gotten ads about things I've talked about like 10 minutes
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm sure we all signed off on it at some point, and like real fine print, but it's just like sketchy. I don't like it.
Yeah.
That's really sketchy.
Yeah.
It's like that Batman movie where Albert taps into all the phones and he can find the criminals just by listening in. That's like
Yeah.
what it's like though.
Yeah.
But with advertisements.
Who knows? Like, where do you see the world going in 10 years?
Oof.
It depends highly on what happens in 2020.
We'll have slightly
election, yeah.
less rights every 10 years
Yeah.
until they're all gone.
But it'll be veiled as us having more rights somehow. Like,
Yeah.
you get to pick what kind of juice you want. Yeah, you did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Would
seriously.
you consider Ultra Deluxe like a political band?
Oh yeah. So like I'm definitely like a conspiracy theorist. But like all of the story is set in 4050 and basically it's just like we've run out of natural resources on the planet and that's going to happen, like
Yeah.
undeniable. So the planet is one government that is just imperializing the galaxy at this point for natural resources. That's going to fucking happen. We're going to Mars. But yeah, it's just like that's like my interpretation of what's going to happen in the future. I mean, I know it's like it's supposed to like have a bunch of sci-fi lore and stuff like that, but yeah, all of this stuff is like strictly anti-imperialist, strictly anti-capitalist. So basically the first album that we wrote called Contact was all from like the point of view of essentially the bad guys. Like the imperialist force is going to save somebody that went to a planet to like colonize it and to take its natural resources. So the second album we're writing is from the point of view of like the rebel alliance called the Contra, and that's supposed to be the good people, and you know they're gonna basically wage war with this tyrannical government.
That's awesome. Do you know where the story's going, or you're writing it as it happens?
Yes. So I think about this a lot in my free time. We have one LP that's out. The second LP is completely written, and that is a prequel to what we just released.
Cool.
Then I have a story for 2 other full albums. No music is written, but like I know what all the
Where
lyrics
it's
are gonna
gonna
be.
go.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. How do you write the music for this stuff? Because for people that haven't heard it, it's like electronic but with drums and bass, correct? And screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on.
So it started as me solo, and actually, like, to be honest, I wrote everything that's recorded right now on my phone.
Really?
Like, I don't really know any music theory. I kind of know keyboard. I know drums. Like, I've had drum lessons for like my whole life. But yeah, I just have a really long commute. I work like an hour away from where I live in the Bronx, and I wrote like 2 albums on my phone, and then I would just put those on a sample pad and play those. And I kind of hit a brick wall with that because I mean the phone is awesome, and there's a bunch of free apps. Like there's 2 called Beatwave and Oxy, AUXY, and you don't need to know anything about music to make electronic music because technology is just at that point. But then I started working with Ableton, and like now that I can like pick like, okay, there's no bass because Eric is going to play bass, and so I just bring him a track with it's just no drums and no bass, and we're getting more complex. And I don't know, how do you feel about like just me just like I feel kind of bad because I just like bring him a song sometimes and I'm like, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
Like I made this 7-minute song.
I mean, the way I go about most things, especially music, is I like to challenge myself, you know? So I feel like I have a much easier time just writing, having somebody come to me with something and then writing on top of it, like adding to, rather than like writing my own music. So it flows, you know. It's
Yeah.
so it's difficult when I don't get to practice, especially without the drums or vocals. Like I'll just have a track in an email, and
Just
if
write
we've only
bass parts with
practiced
no
it
drums.
twice before that, I'm kind of just like, where is everything? Where does
Yeah,
everything go?
That can get challenging, yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's neat that you can like kind of collaborate in that way. You know,
Yeah.
Different projects you can do different things too. You know, I think for this, the way you're doing it works. It's neat.
thank you.
Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely like it's nothing. It's not like many things I've heard.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, obviously, check Ultra Deluxe out. So there's one album. Was that released through Chatterbot Records?
Similar label called Deep Sea.
Oh, okay.
Deep Sea Records. And yeah, they have a lot of other bands that I just like really respect in the scene, like California Cousins.
Yes.
Monster Bad. Those are like people we play with a lot. So it's
Cool.
really cool to be on a small independent label with like bands that we play with and like super respect.
Yeah.
And they put out our tape, and yeah, so that's Contact. That's like our one LP, and we're working on an EP right now. We're recording it next week, and we're probably gonna put that out through them digitally as well.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. I saw California Cousins last weekend, and they were great. It was
Oh,
my
yeah.
first time. No, it was maybe the second time I've seen it, but it was like 3 or 4 years apart, so it felt like the first time.
Yeah.
They just have riffs on riffs
Yeah.
on riffs, like
They're real good.
filthy riffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of fun. Hell yeah. Are there any things like, do you ever run into any challenges like playing DIY shows with running, what are you running, like a sample pad through a PA?
Yeah,
Or?
so I have a
Small spaces.
Yeah. I have a Roland SPD SX. I recently got that. I used to use the Roland SP404 SX. I love gear. I could talk about gear all day, but
Is that like the Octopad, like the
yeah.
sample
So it's a similar thing. To my knowledge, the Octopad is more like percussive, and the SPDSX is more sample based.
Sure.
So a lot of bands will like throw a backing track on that thing, but you can cue it up at any time because
Cool.
you hit it with your stick.
Yeah.
And so this was like it's mostly like, is the PA loud enough, or is the PA not just a bass cab, which is fine, and I've done that before.
Yeah.
But that's probably the biggest challenge, is like playing small spaces, which I love playing basements. I never want to stop playing basements. It's just like the fact that like I don't have my own amplification is like kind of hard.
Yeah. You don't know where you're getting
Yeah,
until
so
you.
it's kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah.
And then most people don't know how to mix us, really. They don't realize that we are just the rhythm section to the sample pad,
Sure.
which I look at as the band. So,
that's interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, because then if you think that way, you would make the sample pod much louder.
Yeah, exactly.
And you would kind of be or like adding to it, like embellishing it. That's neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, because that's where I guess the melody and like a lot of the song is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're kind of adding. Did you two switch instruments?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or do you? Because I remember when we played I kind of remember.
We did, but we've been working on a set that we started playing last night where we don't switch
Yeah.
anymore, because a lot of the feedback we received that was there was less energy when both of us weren't playing our instruments.
Oh, okay.
So
Like
like
people were more impressed by when we were doing the bass and the drums in
Eric has played. How long have you played bass?
10 years.
Yeah, and I played drums for like 13 or 14. So that's like our instruments that we're really comfortable with. But
Yeah.
I had Eric on drums, and I was just fronting, and I would basically just like run around and scream my head off and like play with lightsabers and like do weird stuff.
But the newer songs just have a different vibe now too. It's
Yeah.
less I don't know what the word would be.
I feel like the first album was less about like fighting in war, and this album is more about
Yeah,
fighting
it's
in
a lot.
war.
The newer
what it
stuff is a
is.
lot
Yeah.
heavier, and
Yeah.
it kind of just needs that extra reinforcement of both instruments now.
Basically, like, so I played a show, and my sister was there, and so nobody has been subjected to hearing me drum more on the planet than my sister.
Sure.
In the course of her life, and so she was like, "You are like drums is your instrument. Why aren't you playing that? Like, that's your thing." And so I'm like, "You're right." Sometimes it's fun to just run around, but yeah, we're just a lot heavier when
When
he's
both
on
are
bass
going.
and I'm
Yeah.
on drums.
Sure. Yeah. I watched some of that Alston Pudding session, and it sounded great.
Oh, thank you.
And I thought, like, as a drummer who was doing vocals, you put on a good show. Like, you were like performing the songs vocally too.
Yeah, so thank you. Like, I learned to drum at like 12, and my drum teacher was also the singer of his band. And so I used to like, my mom and my sister like did plays and operas, and so like I started singing before I played an instrument, and he was like, hey, if you like sing and play drums, like I do this, like, so I taught, like he taught me how to play and sing at the same time.
Cool.
So I just like, I don't know, there's definitely some drum parts that I cannot play and sing, but
Sure.
yeah.
How did he teach you? Like, how do you go about teaching that? Was he like breaking it down kind of?
Yeah, it's like you just have to like focus on, like, what I really do is I like make my vocal, since I'm screaming, like it's definitely more percussive, so like I will hit something at the same time that I'm like screaming it. So it's, yeah, because it's really hard to like carry a melody while like, you know, noodling around on the drum set. But I like, if I'm hitting a crash, that's where I like scream heavier.
Yeah.
And like yeah, I try to like have a more rhythm and more percussive
Cool
vocal style.
Yeah, like playing off of the two parts playing off of each other more.
Yeah, I'm no like Zach Hill. I can't like play different limbs at different time signatures.
But also, Max also did Oswald before this band, and Max is the lead singer on Oswald too, and drummer. So I feel like they've had a lot of practice doing this for a long time now, and it was really successful in Oswald.
I just like to scream. It's fun to yell.
Screaming's sick, yeah. I'd be a much angrier person if I wasn't playing in screamo bands
Sweet,
for the
sweet
past several
cathartic
years.
It's a good outlet for sure.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be more aggressive music, just in general. I don't know.
Yeah. It's got a negative connotation that just comes with it. You know, people are like, oh, you scream? Not my thing.
Yeah. What are you screaming about? The devil?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, who's saying we're not doing that? But
So you were saying that in your lyrics you were talking about like the education system.
yeah, so there's a song that we don't play anymore, but yeah, so I'm a teacher. I teach in the Bronx, and there's this song called Professional Development, and that came off of Bummer, which was like the EP that it was just solo. It was like the first thing I released. And so I used to work at a charter school, and I have a lot of like political opinions about charter schools. I work in a New York City public school, and charter schools are, you know, privately funded schools, but they're privately funded, but they're public schools, and
They kind of make their own rules, right? It's
yeah,
like,
there's some positives for sure, but it's very difficult, like operating in a such a strict setting like that, and it just is really brutal to the teachers, like the workload that I had to endure, that I had to do, and then it's really harsh on the kids. It sets really hard expectations for them, and I don't think it's the most positive element. So that song is almost entirely about charter schools, and I actually interviewed at a charter that I'm not going to say, not to incriminate myself, but the lyric is, large expansive chrome by the docks, sign more kids, buy more stocks. And the interview was in this building, this skyscraper in the financial district in South Manhattan. I'm like, okay, so like somebody's making money off these kids in this. They had like an intercom system and like huge windows facing the water. And I'm like, no, like that's not what education is for.
Yeah, it's
like,
not a business.
A CEO is not making money off these kids in
Yeah.
the South Bronx. Like that's messed up.
yeah, it's gross. Yeah. Someone was telling me recently that like lobbyists pay for standardized testing to happen. Like
Oh, yeah.
the 3 weeks in school every year that like they're pushing standardized tests is because someone's paying off, you know, whoever to make these tests happen.
Yeah, Pearson is a conglomerate. They have a total monopoly on like anybody. If you take whatever standard it says, if you're a student or if you are like in, you know, if you are trying to get your teacher certification, you need to give Pearson your money. They have a total monopoly on just testing in this
Yeah.
country.
They I think like the park was what we did in New Jersey, and now it's the same test but it's a different name because legally they can't give the park anymore. So now they just changed the name of the test, and I think like it's somehow okay. But
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. That's not even how the world works. Like, what job do you go and you're like timed to fill in bubbles? Like, no, even like the biggest CEO of like whatever, Jeff Bezos doesn't have to like, you know, fill in bubbles at his job. You just. extorts people for money.
There's like different kinds of intelligence out there too. Like it's not every kid's gonna be smart in the same way. You have kids like
Yeah.
going through school who feel like they're worthless because they didn't fill in the right bubbles.
Yeah, I had a really hard time in school because of that. I just wasn't the kind of person who could sit there and take a test. You know, like I'm a very hands-on type of person, and especially when I was going to school like in the Bronx, it just kind of fucked me over.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like I think everyone has merit to what they do.
Yeah, exactly.
I also had a hard time, like, I would test standardized testing. I would test really poorly, but I was a straight A student. All my teachers thought, like I was way more advanced in the classes that I was in, and they would push me and give me more work, and I would be way ahead of everybody else in my class, but I could not standardize test.
Yeah.
I could not do it. I would sit there and look at it and I'd just freak out. I would just see all the bubbles and be like, but what if I did the math this way? Then it would come out to this number, and I would just redo my work over and over and over again, just get every single answer that was listed. And then I'd just be like, I have no idea which one's the right one. And then
Yeah,
I'd
because teachers
feel
are putting
stupid.
teachers put pressure on the students too, because it's their job to make you good at taking the test.
It's also, isn't it part of the teachers' like annual review how well their students test
Yeah,
now
they look at
too?
those
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like there's a lot of pressure on the teachers to have the kids pass. So they're freaking out, and then their freaking out is passing on to the kids, and then the kids are freaking out.
Someone said to me recently, a teacher friend I have who works in a different school, they said, the kids in my school get dumber every year. And I was like, wow. They said, like, yeah, I've been teaching for like 15 years and it's much different. And she said, I don't know what it is, like culturally, or like, smartphones or social media, or like parents aren't doing that. But like when they said that, and it wasn't a teacher who's tapped out. Like I know which teachers are tapped out and like,
Yeah.
oh, they're all bad kids. Like it's a teacher who like busts their ass every day. And they said that to me, I'm like, man, that's like fucking sad. Like,
Yeah.
where are we headed? Like, where's it going?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's not even just like, I think it has a lot to do with basically what your income is. Like I grew up with my dad working 90 hours a week at his job, and he was the sole income in our house. And my mom was just kind of like taking care of everything else. So I had to deal with my own education, and I had to buckle down and decide I wanted to study. And I had to do the same thing for my little brother because they didn't have time. And I feel like the more parents don't have time to put in with their kids, like the less they're going to actually put in the effort. And like my cousins, they're doing excellent. They're all in AP classes because their parents spend hours with them, helping them do their homework and doing projects with them. Like my cousin's into biology, so they went and did this whole biology field trip to the park, and they helped them do
You
this
have to
huge
be
project.
involved,
Yeah,
like, on that
like the
level,
teachers
yeah.
can't just be to blame, and I can't even blame the school systems necessarily. I think parents just don't have the time anymore because they don't have the money, and they have to keep making the money so the kids can go to the good schools and they can have a home and food, and it's a lot. It's a lot of like, I feel like the 1% kids are the ones that are doing well.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
the ones in the top 10% of the income earning people and families
But
in
it
the
is-
country.
You can't just not blame the school. So like you can't blame the people working in it, but the system is skewed to like work against people. I remember like I grew up in Queens in the Bronx and until I was 12, 13 years old, and I spent the first 6 months of 7th grade in the Bronx, and I took a standardized test, and then my parents bought a house and we moved up to Putnam County. So I was going to school at Brewster, and they hadn't taken their standardized test yet, and we were in like an English class taking a practice test, and I had to like raise my hand in the middle of it and be like, hey, I already took this. This is the standardized test that they're giving to the kids in the Bronx. And here I am 2 months later taking it as a practice test. And at that point I kind of realized like, wow, this whole thing is pretty fucked up. Like
Yeah.
it's classes as hell.
It's definitely like, yeah, as Eric said, it's definitely systematic. Like I work in a very like difficult to get to part of the Bronx. Like I take the 6 train, which runs through most of the South Bronx, and then I have to take a bus for another like 30 minutes. So anybody that goes to the school that I work at lives in the area probably. So it would take them like twice as long to get to work as anybody else commuting in New York City. So it's a time thing. If the parents have to, get to work, it takes them longer time, so they may have less time to do other things. They may have less time to get groceries, less time to do whatever. And then you just have things like, okay, New York City just got a new subway line, the Second Ave subway. It goes 3 stops on the Upper East Side from 72nd or 59th to 96th. Like, who is that servicing? Like, that's not helping the people that need it. Like, they could have easily extended that to the East Bronx, which doesn't have, the 6 train only goes up for like one part of the Bronx for like miles and miles. But no, they just extended it to the Upper East Side to, pander to just people like going to the fucking Met.
Yeah.
Like, that's who takes that train.
So they can be more comfortable.
People going to, go shopping or whatever.
Yeah. It's fucked up. Do you how do you feel like your students are being raised by like iPads? What grades do you teach?
I teach 9th grade. Okay. So they are definitely dependent on technology in a way that like Gen Z is definitely more dependent on technology than millennials. Millennials still, like, we love our smartphones. But I don't know if that's really a bad thing. Because, like, looking up stuff on your phone, like, Wikipedia is the sickest fucking thing ever. Like, even as a teacher, I know your teacher told you, like, Wikipedia is not a credible source. I'm like, whatever. Like, it's the free encyclopedia. You could, like, know anything about anything in 3 seconds. Yeah. So I think that's sick, but I think that we have to normalize that. Like, using a phone for academic stuff, and, like, apps are fine. Like, I, do all, like, Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, so I'm not going to say don't do that. But I think when you're in a school setting and people say, don't use your phone, that's the one place they should be using their phone. Like, you would save money on resources. You wouldn't have to buy as many textbooks. And if you normalize them, like, looking up, like, what happened, like, what caused the War of 1812, and then they look it up on their phone, then when they're with their friends and, like, having a discussion or, like, having a debate, they can look stuff up instead of, like, having this negative connotation that phones are just used for games or, like, mindless apps.
Yeah, that's true. If you tell them to put it away, they're gonna want to use it to, like, text their friends during class.
It makes them think it's a bad thing and that it's only used for one thing. And it's like, it's one of the most accessible forms that we can just access. You can go on the internet anywhere. Like, I didn't have that growing up, like, when I was a teenager.
No, yeah. Our generation, we were the last one to not really have.
Yeah.
And we still had it for
for a little bit.
Teens, like mid-teens to now, but kids are growing up like 5 years old and having
they have, like, the kids version, like I forgot the company name, but they have one that you can, like, throw on the ground and it won't break, like an indestructible pad for your
Leapfrog
for, like, your 4-year-olds. Yeah. And, like, it just has, like, games on it, like logic games on it, so that the kids can learn, like, colors and words and numbers.
That's cool.
Like, that's something that a lot of little kids are growing up with.
Yeah. Yo, have you heard about Elsa Gate by chance? Because I know you're saying you're into conspiracy theories, so it's real to an extent. I don't know what is exactly going on, but there's these videos online and it, like, hits a certain YouTube Kids algorithm, and it's made by, like, animator studios. Like, the biggest studio that was doing it was in India. Like, a lot of them were in Asia somewhere. But it's like the video will be called Mickey Mouse Finger Game Hot Potato Fun Time Kids Learning. So, like, you're watching, like, whatever, and then it just will come on next, and it's like these cartoons, but there's like these, like, underlying tones of like substance abuse. Like, Mickey Mouse gets drunk, and then Minnie Mouse is in a bikini and it comes off and she's covered, like, just like weird. Just on
YouTube.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of it.
I heard about the scary one, the one that
Momo.
Like, that one I heard
that's
about.
What that is?
No, that's
a
something
different
else.
one, but it's like the same concept.
Yeah,
basically, where it, like, scares the shit out of kids.
Yeah, Momo was just someone on, like,
in between, like, learning videos.
Yeah, like, it'll pop up and it'll be like, I'm gonna kill you. You need to text me on WhatsApp, and then you'll text this person on WhatsApp, and it's a person pretending to be Momo, and they're like, all right, like, the challenges will just increase and get worse. Like, first one's like, eat a tablespoon of salt and take a picture of you doing it, and then it's like, write your name in blood on your, and then, like, I think a few people, like, killed themselves from that.
Oh my
god.
No, that one really, like, kids would be watching, like, Peppa Pig, and it would come up in between, like, Peppa Pig videos on YouTube, and it's like, those are, like, for 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds.
Yeah. Like, and then the actual picture of Momo was terrifying.
The actual pictures are, like, nightmares.
Yeah, it was like some, like, horror film like set designer made it for like a movie. Did you see the picture of Momo?
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
the one
Yeah.
thing I did see.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Not a fan
Scary.
of that picture.
Like, could you
of Momo.
imagine being like 6 years old watching maybe like, you know, Peppa Pig or Handy Manny or whatever, and then that popping up in between your videos, and then being like, you have to text us right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Kids are gonna do it.
I would do it. Yeah, I would. If
Yeah.
I was that age, I would do it probably. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I have to do this
Yeah.
right now.
I still have nightmares of Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers movies. So like, I don't know if I can handle seeing Momo at that age.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, it freaks them out. Kids brought it up in my class, and I was like, that's just some loser with like too much free time doing it.
How old are your kids?
I'm elementary, so 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough. 5 lesson
Yeah.
plans a day.
It's a challenge at
Wow,
times.
good
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, lots of music. When I was a kid, we'd get the like chain letter emails like, "Hello, I'm a girl with no nose and red eyes. If you don't email this to
yeah.
10
Oh,
people,
yeah.
I'm going to stab you at 2:40 a.m." It's like just enough details where it seems real, but yeah, that used to freak me out. What conspiracies are you like big on? Or yeah,
You're
anyone.
opening up a can of worms here.
I
Gotta pick one. I
Yeah.
gotta think about
You
this.
let Max
you
go
could-
first.
Okay, so like this one's like pretty agreeable but maybe controversial for tri-state area. But I watched part of Loose Change in college.
Yeah.
Just 9/11 conspiracies, just I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
come on.
Something's up.
Bush did that shit.
Yes.
We all know it. Come on.
So yeah, something definitely happened that wasn't. I don't know. I even in like Fahrenheit 9/11, like they talk about like
Yeah.
he got like letters like months and months in advance about it.
Yeah.
and jet fuel can't melt steel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest one. That's like the biggest one.
If you watch Loose Change or even like Zeitgeist, you ever see the Zeitgeist movies? Same thing,
Yeah.
and it's about like deityism too, and like how every religion's based off like constellations and astrology, which that
Yeah.
fucked me up too, because they pulled up like all these different gods, like Jesus, Muhammad. Everyone had the same birthday, born on this day, died, resurrected 3 days
Weird.
later,
That's what's up.
son of a virgin, you know, and it was all like based on constellations. But and Loose Change, when you see the towers fall, they fall straight down. Like just straight
Yeah.
like
They
demolition.
don't hit any other building.
No, it just goes straight down.
Yeah.
It collapses on itself. Where if a
Yeah.
building hits it from the side, you would think like
It would fall.
it topple
Yeah.
or some momentum would happen.
No, that was like
Especially
a that was
plane
like,
up that high going that fast, like debris would have traveled miles
Yeah.
and miles.
Yeah.
like that was like that. It looked like if you go online and you look on YouTube and you look up just the videos of them taking buildings down, it looks exactly the same. You
yeah.
know, like it's
Yeah.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
I feel like for like the 2 people that made it this far in the podcast, we just like lost both of them.
That ain't right. I ain't listening to
Yeah.
this. Yeah, my dad's like super Brooklyn Italian, and Fahrenheit 9/11 was on once, and he was like, "Get this fucking thing off the TV. What is this?" Because he's like very like patriot and like immigrant, you know, just like generational differences.
My dad was working in the towers, so he also is like, he's like, I can't talk about it because I think I'll sound crazy, and like, I think that, you know, other people will think I'm crazy, and I just don't want to be like that. I'm like gonna be 60. I don't want to deal with that at this point in my life, but like, 9/11 was done, and I'm like, okay.
He
You know,
was
like,
there the day it happened.
He was in the subway in the tunnels on his way to the office. He was late to work. He was going to actually be on the floor that the first plane hit at the time that the first plane hit.
Oh my god.
And he was dropping me off at school that morning. My mom and him got in a fight because she was supposed to drive me, but she was like, I can't, I feel sick. So he drove me to school. So he was an hour late. And he was on the subway, like probably like 10 blocks away. Subway stopped in the tunnels. There were no lights because the power was cut. So he's walking in the subway tunnels with flashlights with all the people on the
Yeah.
subway train with him. He had to climb up onto a platform after he finally got to one and then get out of the subway that way.
and then see.
And
My
then
stepdad
see
was
dust
one of those
and
cops.
9/11, yeah,
Yeah.
falling on, yeah.
Guiding people through the
Fuck.
tunnels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's insane.
So he was like, no, something happened, but he's like, but I can't talk about it anymore because like I'm too old. You know, like I'm too old at this point, and like I don't want anything weird to happen. I want to get like pulled into like the FBI or the CIA and like arrested. Like I'm too old for this.
Yeah, it's fucked though, because like chances are, yeah, something fucked happened, but a lot of people are like, oh, give it a rest, but it's like, I mean, thousands of people died. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
including firefighters that were like first responders on the scene. Like,
Yeah.
it's fucked because that's their job, to run into the burning buildings, and they died like first, basically. And,
Yeah.
like,
There was
I
no
went to the
support
preschool
system for them for like
Yeah.
10, 15 years either.
And I went to preschool there in the building, and this preschool is like in one of the first floors.
Of the World Trade Center?
Yeah, and like those kids all got trapped down there. They all got trapped.
Really sad.
So like, and the teacher, there was like a couple of the teachers throwing kids out of the windows, trying to get them like out of the basement. Like
Yeah.
they died throwing kids out of the building. Like that's fucked up.
Man, yeah,
It's
that's
fucked
really
up. Like if you
sad.
think of like of all the people that died, like people should be more angry about it.
Yeah.
We've just like let it go. But that's always what happens. We just let things go. Like look at Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at like
There's a
that
new-
just happened and we're letting it go
There's
already.
a new thing to distract us almost within 5 days.
Yeah, look at Haiti too. I mean,
Yeah.
how does a total island being wiped out basically, how do we lose sight of that all of a sudden?
Yeah. Because the Grammys are on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Didn't like a plane disappear too or something?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like Ethiopia, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had my kids do current events for like the history elective class, and this one kid was all about that story.
Is there anything you teach where you're like, I don't know, I feel like this textbook might be a little biased right now?
Oh yeah.
It's gotta be.
So
When I was
much.
in I'm Armenian, and when I was in high school, I always looked for the genocide to be in the textbook, because there was always, like the Holocaust, and there was, the Native American Trail of Tears, and that was also a really
Yeah.
small thing, but there'd always be like 2 sentences somewhere like really tucked into the chapter, and it would say, I think it was like 1922, the Armenians experienced a genocide, and that would be it though. That's like the whole sentence, and it's
Yeah.
like there's a lot more.
That happened.
There's a lot more that happened.
Yeah.
But they don't publish it in the textbooks. We don't recognize it in this country because one of our greatest allies in the Middle East is Turkey. And they're
Yeah.
the ones who
Committed
committed
crime.
the genocide.
Yeah.
So we're not going to just all of a sudden stop, being
Yeah.
allies with them
They don't
and
want their spot blown
call
off.
them out. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're not going to make reparations like Germany did. They're just not. They're not in
Yeah.
a position that they have to.
Yeah.
So
Like if I didn't listen to System of a Down, I wouldn't know the Armenian
Right.
genocide
Yeah.
existed.
Right.
I was
That's
just
like-
talking about that.
Yeah, we were
Kim
talking-
Kardashian
Yeah.
and System of a Down are the only way people know about the Armenian genocide. Like that's it.
yeah.
And
I'm-
it's sad.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
Puerto
amazing.
Rican, and the most comprehensive history that I've gotten of like Puerto Rican, Native American, and Southern American history is from a fucking Netflix special. Which kudos to fucking John Leguizamo. He's putting in the fucking footwork. But I had to wait till I was 25 years old to be told, hey, like, you were of Taino descent, and those people were almost completely fucking wiped out. Like 30 million people total, I
I didn't
think.
even know
Columbus
that happened.
just.
Yeah.
The Taino were native to Puerto Rico, but they had influence all throughout the Bahamas, and they were indigenous to like Florida, the southern states.
Yeah. Wiped out by like American colonizers or?
Italian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
it was Columbus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first it was Columbus, just
Kicked it off.
raping children to give them syphilis to ruin future generations, and then, just killing everybody, enslaving the rest. And then when they were almost out of indigenous peoples to enslave, they started importing the African slaves and, like, mated them.
Yeah.
So that they could just keep having black and brown slaves.
It's wild. America was built on such greasiness and just so many like
Yeah,
bad things
it's
happen.
Really fucked up.
how
and
does
we
it ever-
don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's not in our textbooks. I mean, like that's your original
Yeah.
question. Is like it's not in our textbooks.
Yeah.
Like my cousin, she goes to school in Oradell, New Jersey, so it's closer to here.
Yeah.
And she's Armenian, and the class got to do a project on a genocide that was in their textbook. She had to get special permission from her teacher to do the Armenian genocide because it wasn't in her textbook. Wow. She was like, I have to do this. No one else is going to do it. It's not in her textbook, and I want to cover it because that's what my family's about. Like my grandparents are first generation from the genocide in this country. So I'm like third generation in this country. And my great grandparents had to get married in Cuba in order to come here together. You know, like they had to do so much in order to get here. And my cousin was like, I can't believe I can't study my culture in school. Like, that's just not a part of the curriculum. I have to make it up.
Yeah.
So it's messed up. I mean, the textbooks, they're all written by the same like 2 or 3 companies.
It kind of goes back to like Pearson like pushing tests.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and somebody's telling them what they can and can't put in the textbooks. You know,
Yeah.
there's definitely someone telling them what they can and can't put in the textbooks.
Yeah. The good thing about having a phone all the time is like the more open sourced everything is, so the more like skeptical everyone is, you can just look into everything.
Yeah. I mean, the downside is the flat earthers.
Yeah, I was gonna say like not on the Alex Jones level of things, or like
The issue is like, okay, so obviously in New York City, school districts are super segregated, like they're not heterogeneous at all, and so like I teach in a pretty diverse area of the Bronx, and this type of discourse is had a lot, and like we do not celebrate Columbus, like we like none of my kids like him, like we need to talk. I'm from Westfield, right? And so like I wasn't taught that Columbus was bad in Westfield. Like we know, like Westfield's demographic, and that's where it needs to be taught, is in like areas like that, because I don't know, a lot of people, like I don't know, when it's Columbus Day, like we at our school, like we would call it Indigenous Peoples Day, and but it's not happening everywhere. It's not uniform across the country.
Yeah.
And so that's the issue, is not the people that cause all the problems are not studying it.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, in my town, they used to give school off. I don't think they do anymore for Columbus, but I mean, elementary school's a little different. Like I could probably talk to a 5th grader about it and be like, like he did heinous, like he did terrible things.
They probably listen to you, actually.
Yeah.
I think he's a lot
Plant the seeds.
it's a lot less
important.
celebrated now than when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has to do with like, like more social media, like building up, like just being like, this is not a good
Information
guy.
gets passed around a lot more now, and that's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's definitely good that people could at least be free thinkers with their phones, until we can't be. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we'll at least always have that.
They keep sending us Momo. Like,
Yeah,
Come on, people.
seriously. Subliminal messages.
So Max, what was like growing up in Westfield like?
Yeah.
About like 40 minutes from here.
Yeah. So I mean, So I grew up in Westfield. Basically, there's not a lot of kids that are into like punk shit, and very affluent, like very fucking everybody played lacrosse, and like had North Faces and all that whack stuff. And so I started going to shows when I was like 12, because the First Baptist Church had a lot of sick ska shows.
Yes, hell yeah.
And there was this really sick record store called Sound Station, and that was really formative in like me developing my like musical taste. And there was a lot of little cool things in Westfield, but they just got nerfed like by the time I was probably in college. Like, so the First Baptist Church shows were awesome, and those were like 200 kids packed out every time. And like that was like the first show I ever went to. I was 12. I went to go see a ska show because I was friends with this kid, and he played trumpet in a band with 8th graders.
Nice.
And so then those 8th graders played in a show with high school kids. So we're like, all right, we gotta like, we're gonna party with some ska high school kids.
Yeah.
And by party I mean like go to bed at 11.
Skank in a circle.
Drinking
Hawaiian punch, and then.
But I don't know. I just like. There were some shows, and my senior year of high school, there was this thing, Westwood Community Center, and also Soundstation booked some shows, but it wasn't a lot, so I ended up just like commuting like 2 hours to like Brooklyn. There were spots like in 2009, like Party Expo and Broadway Backyard, and I think it's really important in Union County and other North Jersey towns to like keep those spaces there, because kids are always going to want to do punk shit, but
they need an outlet.
Yeah.
Because what else? What, like, you need like when I was younger, it was like, let's go to a show because what else would we do?
Yeah.
Like, go watch music or play it.
It's either that or like do illicit drugs and like.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing is like, especially in areas like this, New Jersey generally has a huge drug problem, and I think it's because the kids like have nothing to do and they kind of have a lot of money on their hands, and the parents kind of just are like too busy or not around or something, and
Yeah.
drugs are really accessible.
Yeah.
They're just really accessible.
It's true.
So-
Definitely in like a few affluent towns in Jersey, there's that problem.
Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of towns in general, there's like an opioid problem, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Flemington DIY is like one of the most important spaces in the state.
Well,
right
I was
now.
gonna bring that up because
Yeah.
Westfield and Flemington are. I think Flemington's more rural.
Yeah, for
but,
sure.
But like, kind of
The downtown is reminiscent of Westfield's downtown. I mean,
Yeah.
Westfield's downtown changed a lot over my youth. There were a lot more small businesses. Now there's a fucking Urban Outfitters, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool that they still have the Rialto and like, there's a lot of other small businesses, but it's like 50-50 now with chains, and it wasn't always like that. I think Cranford's really cool because like I don't know if they have this law or something, but like it's only small businesses in Cranford.
Yeah.
Like they don't have any chains, or maybe like one or two. But yeah, I think like a community space like Flemington DIY is so important. Like sober space is so important for kids to go to. Like kids, I mean, house shows are all ages, and I love house shows, but we need something for like 12-year-old to go to like
for the public. Too,
Yeah.
not like invite only.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah.
no, I agree. If there was something like that, like around here, I think it would do very well.
Mhm.
But it's just like, where would you do it here? And especially New Brunswick, rent is stupid because it's a college. But even like a few towns over, you also need like the right people. Like Flemington, I had Jeff on a podcast actually, and I was like, all right, tell me how you did all this, because it's like a really cool story about how he made that space happen. And they just celebrated like their 5th year, and it was in like the Hunterdon County newspaper and everything. And it's fucking sick. But yeah, he had the support of the town on his side. Like the Flemington Better Business Bureau was like, "Oh, you run these punk shows," and he was doing like art. Like Jeff's always been really involved in the scene, did like zines and like art stuff. And they're like, "Yeah, we have this abandoned bank. We thought it'd be cool to turn it into like a venue temporarily." And then like they didn't improve their worth, and it wasn't only a music venue, right? Like they like movie screenings and talks and poetry. And now they do screen printing nights. They do a bunch of stuff, and it's like a legit community center. And I just think like that's such a cool thing to have for a kid in that area.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the thing that I think. So on the one hand, like the tech is really good and it's very helpful, but on the other hand, like you're more okay staying at home and playing on your phone or playing video games and not going out of the house ever. Whereas back in the day, well, in high school, I had a flip phone all of high school. I never had a smartphone
Yeah,
in high
same.
school.
Yeah.
And like I was always like walking to meet my friends. I would walk down the street like a mile down the street to go meet my friends,
Yeah.
like, and we would just go play in the woods. We would go play in the woods and have a great time. And yeah, we get poison ivy here and there, but like we lived and it was great. And now we know how to deal with poison ivy as adults, so I feel like a lot of the time kids don't go out, and because of that, the spaces that are available aren't there anymore because there's no demand for it.
Yeah.
So in a community that like there is a demand for it, or the parents are like, I want my kids to not be on their phone all the time, or kids are like, I want to stop being on my phone all the time. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
That like a space is, and that space probably services a lot of areas too.
Yeah.
Like probably in, not that they meant to do that, but it's just a thing that happens sometimes when there isn't a space like it anywhere else.
Yeah, and it brings people to the town too, and
Yeah.
like they do a lot. But I agree. I think something like that in Westfield would be really cool and feasible. Like there's a music school on Main Street in Westfield. I was like a sit-in drummer for this jazz band there. We practiced like once a week, and they gave me like a check at the end. I don't know how I think Liz from Best of the Worst got me that gig, but like it was cool. And it was fun playing music, and there were students doing it and like older people, and they had the money just to pay me. They wrote me a check at the end. I'm like, this is awesome. Like,
Yeah, and I think it would do well. I mean, those Baptist church shows,
They were
like,
nuts.
They
Yeah.
were insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and like I don't know if the scenes changed or like what, but like all ages shows, like, I mean, I haven't played many shows like that as a DIY band, like at a community space like that. Like that doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
But that happened like every week, every time there was a show.
it was the
like,
thing
packed
to
out.
do. Yeah.
Maybe that's ska in New Jersey, but like,
Well,
I mean, I
yeah.
love ska.
No, but yeah, Jersey had like probably one of the best ska scenes in the country too.
Yeah.
But still, regardless, I think it wasn't only like there were other scenes too, because like I was playing like in a kind of hardcore-ish band back then too, and those shows were like did really well too. There was just like a more involved like local scene.
Yeah, what's somebody telling me Lifetime is from Westfield, or like there's a member that's from Westfield or something?
Maybe, yeah.
And,
I know
like,
they played here a lot. Like they're
yeah, or
definitely
from
middle-
around there.
Yeah.
Like and I just think I haven't been back in like five years. My parents moved out when I moved to the city, so like
Yeah.
but yeah, I think like I know that like a lot of those towns, it has like a homeowners association or something. If they were to like establish a community center, that would just be really positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric, what about you? What was it like playing music where you were growing up?
I didn't pick up an instrument until I'd moved to
New Paltz?
no, not Putnam County when I was
Oh, okay.
a teenager,
Yeah.
like a preteen. Because I was interested in it. I'd grown up. My parents were really young when they had me. In '93, they're 18 and 20, so they were listening to a lot of rap and stuff like that, and that's what I grew up around. And finally, like, eventually got into Linkin Park, and then it just kind of took off from there. I
Yeah.
started listening to like System of a Down, My Chemical Romance, Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
But in the Bronx, there's, especially because I grew up in such an underprivileged neighborhood, there wasn't any music programs or anything like
Sure.
that. I think when I was in the 7th grade, right before I moved, they had a music class that they probably don't even have anymore. And they tried teaching me the trumpet for like 2 seconds. But then I moved and met friends who played guitar, and they were just like, hey, man, you should play bass. And I was like, yeah, cool.
Nice.
And then I started getting into a lot of like punk stuff, and I'd kind of come into it too late. Like everybody who lived in Putnam County their like whole lives in like 3rd or 4th grade, they get the decision of like choosing their elective. So at that young age, they pick up the violin or oboe or something. So I never had like music education. I just kind of picked up the bass and learned a bunch of Operation Ivy songs because that was the closest, still to this day, the closest thing to a scale that I know. I just kind of took off from there. I started getting into heavier and more complicated music, and instead of just being like sitting around and being like, oh man, I wish I was better, I just practiced and practiced and practiced. And then I graduated high school, didn't go to college, was working a shitty job, and was miserable with my life generally, and just made it a point to just play music every day.
That's awesome.
Even if I didn't want to, even if I was too depressed to, I would just make myself do it.
Yeah.
And then I picked up guitar in that time, in like that year, moved to New Paltz, met Max, who actually got me into New Paltz. We'd partied with each other for like a bunch of times over the months before I moved there.
We needed like a 5th roommate, and I think this was like maybe the 2nd time I met Eric.
Yeah.
I was like, you should be my roommate, you're so cool. And my ex-girlfriend
just
at the time
did
was
it.
like, you're gonna scare him.
No, I was down.
Yeah.
He was so down. We were best friends at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was texting
And
me
I got
that, like,
really
everybody was
lucky,
really cool.
like
That's awesome.
Max and all the friends that I moved in with are the most supportive, positive people, and
That's great.
His best friend also lived there too.
they knew like everybody in the town, were friends with everyone, so I got to know like everybody. It became a home really fast.
That's real cool. Yeah.
And then you joined Sativa Cult.
Yeah, and then I joined this band Sativa Cult and started my own band, Flat Stanley, which is like math rock screamo shit.
Sick.
At the time, Max
that
was
band still
playing
play?
in Oswald. No, I mean, it's every time I feel like playing a solo set, I will, but I could have parted ways with the drummer a while ago.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's just hard to do, like, especially when you just kind of drop yourself in the middle of nowhere like that. Like, it's a beautiful place to live, way cheaper to live in the city. It's just way easier to manage life out there.
Sure.
But there's a very strong disconnect from people in general. There's not too many of them out there, and majority of them are not into math rock or screamo or anything like
sure.
that. So I kind of just kept the friends I've always had
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, like, what was the New Paltz scene? So Ultra Deluxe started when you two were up there, or did it start after you were roommates?
After.
Yeah, after. So Eric is in the band Sativa Cult that he mentioned, and I was in a band called Oswald, which Eric now plays in but didn't. So we were friends, obviously, when we lived together. When I was in college and he was living there, we played together. We were both like on the screamo emo side, and we played together all the time. Both bands broke up. Oswald broke up like instantaneously when we graduated. Like
Yeah.
I think our last show was like a month after we all graduated.
Yeah.
And so I immediately started Ultra Deluxe because I'm like, I'm gonna make a band with myself. That way nobody can break up with
No
my
one
band.
can let me down.
So I'm like, I'm just gonna make it all on my phone. And I was doing that for 3 years. Sativa Cult continued for a while. Sativa Cult has a really interesting story. If you want to talk about that.
Yeah. When I moved to New Paltz, I came up to New Paltz just to get drunk on my 21st birthday. Never been there before, but I'd heard about it.
Yeah.
And I was just like getting fucked up at the bars, and remembered like, oh, my old friend Jackson like goes to school up here, lives around here, but I didn't have his phone number, and I was wasted, so I was just like introducing myself to strangers and stuff, and like everybody was just like super chill, down to meet me, spend a couple minutes talking to me, and I'd be like, do you know my friend Jackson? And trying to reconnect with him until eventually by the end of the night it worked, and I got his phone number, we reconnected, and I came back the next weekend, saw Sativa Cult play, and I was just like, okay, this music's actually pretty decent. The drummer has a lot of potential, just needs to like hit harder. The guitar work is like amazing, but their bassist isn't doing anything. So I kind of decided that in there I was gonna replace that guy.
That guy was. Don't
He
feel
was
bad.
a space case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was more of he grew up in the city and went to a sort of like prestigious creative school for rich Manhattan kids.
Oh, okay.
And had a like really good education, but just wanted to do freeform jazz and never wrote a bass line, just would do freeform jazz over punk stuff
Yeah.
at every show.
Yeah, which might not work sometimes.
But then like I joined and learned all the old songs, and then I had a song that I was working on guitar but didn't have a band. I showed my friend and he was like, that is a sick song. I was like, I think it needs more, and he was just like, no, the parts, like, it's all there, we just need a band to play it. So he helped me write that song. He helped me bring it to life, and it kind of just like changed the whole pace of the band. Like we started going more into like, it was still like 90s stoner grunge punk shit, but with my like hardcore screamo math rock influence. Cool. And then the last album we put out was just like this really weird like post-hardcore album that like nobody would have expected.
It was just
from
like
us.
math the fuck out.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah,
that sounds
that
great.
was like, yeah. So you,
but still like indie grunge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never like lost that, but
Right on.
it all just sort of like came together because we loved each other so much.
That's really cool. How was it playing? Like, how's the scene in New Paltz? I was telling you two before, I played at like Snugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fun. But like, what kind of venues would you play? Was it like usually bars?
New Paltz scene is very cyclical, like any college.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a SUNY school. Up
Yeah,
there,
it's
right?
a SUNY school, about 6,000 undergrad, I think, or 4,000. But so I was there from 2011 to 2015, and I remember like I had been going to shows in Westfield, loving like DIY stuff, but like I was like maybe it was October of my freshman year, and I had this adjunct professor who like it was like Tuesday night was like the one like weekday that was a weekend, and so he was like. I have this band, if anybody's heard Nightmares for a Week, he like filled in on drums for them. They're the school like emo band, and he's just like straight up said to the class like, hey, I'm playing a show like in town. He didn't like describe the band at all, but he was like, y'all should come. And so like a bunch of the class came, and it was just like, emo shit and punk shit. And I'd been listening to ska for a while, but then I got into like noise punk and really hit it hard with bands like Snowing and Merchant Ships, and it's just like seeing my professor in an emo band like when I was 18, that was fucking sick. And so those 4 years, there's a lot of house shows. It's a lot smaller scene than New Brunswick, but similar. Like house shows, especially my senior year and junior year, like 100 kids packed out.
That's awesome.
And like there were about 3 houses, so it's a lot smaller. And then I had this one spot. That's a whole story. I don't know how much time we have.
We can keep going. Yeah.
Basically, I had this spot called the Hobbit Hole. It was way too small to be having shows, and there was like maybe if there was like it was a venue, the capacity was like 40, and I would have like 70. Yeah. And so I had this one show that I had to call the cops on my own house because these kids started crowd killing in my tiny ass apartment.
Yeah.
And this one kid, like, they broke a bottle, and then the kid ripped their hand open and was like bleeding out, and like we had to call an ambulance. So I like stopped doing that, and I started moving to more like started booking a pizza place, and that we got a lot of people, and like it was the only place in New Paltz that had ceilings big enough where you could crowd surf.
Cool.
So there's like a picture of tours on the internet just like crowd surfing.
Yeah, this is a video of just me like playing bass and getting thrown the fuck around.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
But and then I'll let Torres talk, because after I graduated in 2015, I moved to Jersey to live with my parents until I got a job. Then I moved to the city, and Torres kind of ran shit at like this really sick spot.
Yeah, after they graduated, the scene kind of died out. So he was like,
yeah, there was like an
something.
ebb and flow. You know, I was in New Paltz for another couple years, and we lived in this big house. It was like split up into 5 bedrooms on either side, but the people on the other side were like really good friends of ours, and you know, the basement door between the two houses is always kept open. We would just go to and fro, hang out with each other, whatever. And then we started throwing shows on the other side of the basement. It started out as acoustic stuff. I wasn't too involved at that point. I wasn't too interested in booking. But there's a lot of like really cool acoustic shit. And then we started doing the like full band stuff, and I booked a couple shows. You know, we were all booking shows, like all fucking 10 of us.
10 people, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool though. It's
we
good to
all
have
had a
spot.
hand in it.
Yeah, it's interesting how like when you moved, it kind of fell off, and then you took it over.
Yeah.
So this was the house that we lived in together, but we
Yeah.
had this roommate, and we had shitty neighbors that like weren't down with shows. But as I moved out, so did those people, and so like it just
And then after that, we moved into another house. Me and one other guy from the initial house.
Our friend Joe, like the
Yeah.
unofficial merch person of this
Yeah,
band.
of every band.
Of every band in New
Other of
Paltz.
us have ever been in since
Yeah.
we've known this kid. We love him to death.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was because he like doesn't play an instrument. He's never been in a band, but he loves the whole fucking thing.
Very
you know.
supportive friend. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
crucial, too.
he like started book. He wanted to like have a hand in booking more. So it's kind of the two of us running it. You know, I was playing shows, so for the first year, I kind of took a step back and let him take the reins. You know, but
Yeah.
then he moved out of the house, and then I took the reins back, and the one thing, like, you know, I've done a full U.S. tour, and I've been touring a lot for the past like 4 or 5 years now, and there's like a huge problem with representation at these shows. So, you know, like, I loved heavy shit. I loved booking it. I was like the only one booking it at the time too, because the whole scene had kind of just moved towards indie stuff and jam bands. You know, we're 2 exits away from Woodstock.
Yeah, when I was in New Paltz, there was like a hippie vibe.
Yeah, it's very people love just smoking weed, taking some mushrooms, and just jamming out.
It's like either jam bands or like bedroom pop bands.
Yeah.
It's like one or the other.
So I was just booking what I wanted to represent, but also I would book like very mixed bills, you know, because like if you hit me up and, you know, you're a fucking woman or black or brown or not straight, then even if I absolutely detest your music, I'm going to book you because it's important for that person to like be represented. You know, we had a really big audience at that house because we'd done it for 2 years, and the shows would get like pretty crazy, you know, like 70 kids at the most, and then like the big weekends like Halloween and shit like that, we'd have to start turning people away.
Yeah.
There'd be too many people.
Before you know, it's just like look, the cops
too.
are going to come. We can't have more people here.
Yeah. I think it's cool that you did that though. That it came up on the podcast they did last week with this band called Steve, but they're like
love
very
them.
similar. Like, yeah, they're awesome, but they're like Kyle was saying, like, yeah, honestly, like, if we get offered a show and it's all like white dudes, we're probably not gonna play it. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, it's important that we play shows that aren't all white dudes, and like, no, it shouldn't be forced, but like, you know, people should be included.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's fucking impossible to not have a band that's all straight white dudes on the show. You know,
Yeah.
it'd be like 2 of the 4 or 5 bands on the show almost every time. But
Sure. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's
just
yeah.
you just gotta try a little bit.
I think also like the other side of it is that he's Puerto Rican, and especially in New Paltz and upstate New York, there's like no other Puerto Ricans in the
Yeah.
scene. There's like
and it felt
maybe 1 or 2. So it's like it's very important for him especially to be pushing for those people to be a part of the scene, to be like, hey, you can play this house. Like
Yeah.
it's possible. Like you don't have to not play music. You can. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna book you. You know, like
Yeah.
please come.
I think it's important for people like to run spaces. So like, I am white. I'm non-binary, but I totally am male passing. Like I've that, you know. So like, I think the fact that like people that run spaces, if you like, I would book a lot of shows. As I said, like, this is a safer space. Like if you have a problem, talk to us. But like my presence as like a white male looking person, like not everyone is going to want to like confide in me something that's going on. And Mom's
Yeah.
like was like the only house at the time that wasn't just
Yeah.
all white dudes.
we weren't
Yeah.
just doing shows either. One of my roommates was the president of the burlesque troupe on campus. So every couple of months, or for like the holidays like Halloween or whatever, I'd just like take a weekend off to just let her do her thing. And you know, we'd have those burlesque shows, you know, half naked women everywhere dancing or whatever, but like they felt safe
Yeah.
doing it there.
Yeah.
And I remember like there was a couple times where a band would be walking around and they would just like, I would, you know, be working the door. They'd be walking past and just stop and look around and be like, whoa, there's like almost entirely women here. Like that's weird.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you know, like I would we were watching a group of younger kids go by and talking about how Mom's, that was the name of the venue,
Yeah.
was the only space that they actually felt safe in.
That's cool.
Or you know, like watching the like younger queer kids like admiring the fuck out of, you know, watching other queer people play.
Yeah.
You know,
Teenage
like watching it
Halloween
means
is, like-
something to them.
It's
Yeah.
a good band. Like
It felt
that was
so good.
college age that played that house a lot.
Yeah.
They're teenagers a lot younger than us, and they played Moms a bunch.
Oh,
and
yeah. sick.
So it's like you see, like if you're like, I don't know, when I was in New Paltz, like I'm queer, but like I didn't see a lot of queer bands. Like I mostly listened to like emo bands, like and.
Yeah.
So the fact that I could go to a house show and see kids like my age being like, I'm gay as fuck, like what the fuck is up, New Paltz? Like, I didn't like that wasn't part of my college experience. It definitely wasn't part of my experience growing up in Jersey shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no, it's important for those people who do feel marginalized to also feel represented when they're at a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference. So
Yeah. I grew up around Danbury, Connecticut,
yeah.
and that scene was very hardcore, and it was like almost completely white men, and they would make me feel like I had to get hit, and I had to like be a part of the boys crew, and I had to like act like a boy in order to hang out in the hardcore
that's
scene.
grimy.
And
Yeah.
it was like really refreshing to come to New Paltz. Even before he was running spaces, there was the altar. It was really fun to come to New Paltz and see women play and see women in the crowd and like see people at the door running the space protecting those women. And like if somebody was crowd killing or something, that person was gonna go.
Yeah.
Like if they hit a woman, that person. We were at another show at another house where a guy did hit a girl,
Oh my God.
and they threw him out.
Yo.
They threw
Yeah.
him out in like 2 seconds.
Good.
It was
Not just
so
that.
fast. You know, like you could feel you could feel safe in the space.
And that kid
You
used to
actually
run a
could,
space.
which was really
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
kid like ran a house show when I was a
Yeah.
singer, and so
And-
it's like people like that shouldn't be running. That's
No.
not safe at
Why
all.
would
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really refreshing to have that kind of a space though. Like especially as a woman, like
Yeah.
going to a show and not having to get hit by somebody was really nice.
Yeah.
And I could still see hardcore bands if I wanted to.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about it. Like,
Yeah.
Because, even if you go to a show and you see moshing, like, even if you're far away, you always have to, like, kind of be on your edge a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm all for moshing, but I
Yeah.
never saw the point in crowd killing ever.
Yeah, right.
Me
Yeah.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dumb. Yeah, Max, I wanted to ask because like I know it's like lyrically like there is a theme, like a sci-fi theme, but how does like you being queer or non-binary like reflect in the lyrics?
Yeah, so there is a character, like the cover of our album is like this pink-haired person. That's Adrian Park. They're non-binary, pink hair, I have red hair. Obvious connection there. There's a lot of, let me think. Yeah, so like because I take on the persona, I'm doing most of the lyrical duties. So like because I take on the persona of many different genders throughout the story, like Nora is another character that you don't see an image of, but like so I just like that's me like being different people in different genders. Like I have this lyric, it's just like the song Nora en route, that's her backstory, starts with like when I was a girl, and so like, you know, that contributes to like my dysphoria. Like I never felt like I fucking hate sports and I hate boy stuff and like dresses are cool and like I don't know. So like the fact that I can be any of these characters. There's another character, Rory, in the new album who's like super masculine, and like so I have a beard. I'm very I'm a larger person. Like even though I'm non-binary, I feel very masculine sometimes. I think it's important to know that like non-binary people do not have to be androgynous. And so like I'm also that person, but I'm also this other character, Eula, who is like a very small woman, and like so me being those different characters is like who I feel like inside.
That's neat. Yeah, it's cool how you channel that into like the lyrics to like tell a story too.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a cool take on it. Have y'all played with Kissies? Luke Hendricks.
We did a weekender with
them.
them. It was
I love
really
them.
fun.
Yeah,
They're
cool.
really
I love
great
them.
people.
Cool. I saw them actually with Cali Cousins. Luke booked it in Asbury.
fuck
but
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that was their record release. I was like, I live in the city. I'm like, I should take an NJ Transit train down to see the show.
It was fun. Yeah. They're gonna play more. They're gonna play
Yeah,
all
we're
the
playing
time.
Yeah,
with them
yeah.
on 510 at
Yeah.
Grand Exchange in New Brunswick.
Oh,
Kissies,
sick.
Yeah,
I feel like Kissies
on
and
the
5 minutes
Ultralux are like best friend bands.
We love-
basically.
Yeah, like
They're so great.
Just vibe alone.
Yeah, I
besides
love
like them
it.
being like cool people.
It's
too.
like slowcore, but also scrams. Like
Yeah.
it's
they were
awesome.
good. Yeah, I was impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's wrap the pot up. Is there anything else you guys want to get in? Y'all want to get in?
Drink
Water.
water.
We covered so much. We covered all the shit we really like talking about. So
Yeah. No, I mean it's great talking to all of y'all about
thanks for
the
having
scene
us.
and like music, and I'm looking forward to the new stuff because I feel like it's gonna have, you know, it's gonna be dense, like story wise.
Oh,
Like
thank you.
yeah, there's a lot to catch on in it, and I think that's cool because it's kind of keeps giving the more you listen to it. Like if you're like into like, you know, like back in the day when you like open lyric booklets.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's like my thing is I just want to like give a lyric booklet that has like a picture of what the song's about. I mean, it's cool that I give people interpretation, but like I'm
Yeah.
weird and I want to show some weird shit. So.
Yeah. No, totally. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming
Thanks
on.
for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Bye bye.